Hi guys, welcome back to 100% Mag. So hope you all staying safe and well out there. So the game has just ended down at the Etihad in Manchester, of course, with Manchester City coming away 1-0 winners against Newcastle United. And I've got to say, this game, could have been such an entertaining game if not for the referee influencing the game hugely influencing the game. Now, a lot of people will say you can't always blame the referee. It's not the referee's problem. But in tonight's game, looking at the way this game played out, if that referee hadn't have influenced the game by giving out so many yellow cards to Newcastle in the game, then we would have been able to play that game in a much different way to what we were playing it, even with the restrictions against were by the yellow cards in that game tonight. We were still going toe to toe with Manchester City in the game. Going into this game, Man City had already played a game midweek in Athens against Sevilla in the Super Cup. Of course, playing well over 90 minutes in that game and going in a penalty shootout, of course, eventually winning that game, of course. But that isn't what we're talking about. We're talking about tonight's game at the Etihad down in Manchester, and Newcastle, of course, coming away on the end of a 1-0 defeat to Manchester City. Now, looking at it, yes, like I say, we can pick the ref as a problem in the game, but that would be a lazy approach, I believe, to, just say that was entirely the referee. You could see in the game, that there was times where we did make some small mistakes in the game ourselves, but we've got to look at it from this perspective. We are just starting our journey under these owners. We are just starting our journey. This is only the second full season under these owners. So to look at where we are now to where we were when these owners took over is just absolutely magnificent. When you consider, what Man City have done under their ownership, they are coming towards the end of their ownership. They are coming towards the end of their, well, not so much their ownership. They're coming towards the end of their, journey. They've won the treble. They've put in some good performances over the years, but you can see in that game tonight, there wasn't much of a difference between, Manchester City and Newcastle in that game tonight. We were really up there. We were going toe to toe with a treble winning side tonight at the Etihad. And yes, people can say, well, they played 90 minutes in a game midweek, but, at the end of the day, you take that away. They still were going out there tonight with the likes of Haaland in that squad. They still had pretty much the full team out there tonight against us. And they could only manage to get one goal to win the game against Newcastle. One goal to win the game against Newcastle. So looking at this, from a positive perspective, looking at the positives in this game, because that's what we've got to do. That is basically what we can do as fans, is look at the positives that are on show for we. Also, we do have to look at the negatives, which, like I say, there was a few. I'm sure that will be rectified in the games going ahead. This is only the second game of the Premier League season. I'm sure, Eddie Howe and Mad Dog will sort them problems in the games ahead. But to go to the Etihad last season, we went down there, we ended up losing 2-0 in the game. Of course, this game, we only ended up losing 1-0. So there is progress right there. We're seeing progress and we are seeing our team moving forward in the right direction. But that game tonight, like I say, could have ended either way if not for some decisions that were being made in the game. But, at the end of the day, I am pretty happy with the performance that we're putting in that game tonight. But them few little negatives, like I say, where a few passes didn't go quite right. There was some moments with Miggy as well where he could have passed it off to Trippier in the game as well. But it just was a really good game. I've got to say it was a really good game, and Man City can feel very, very lucky that they come away on the end of this as winners, because any other referee in the middle there, any other way in that game, Newcastle could have been coming away with a point tonight. We could have been coming away, with the win tonight as well. But let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Of course, that game and that result in the game tonight, of course, means that we did drop down the table from first place, obviously. But looking at the Premier League table, Brighton's in first place with 6 points. Manchester City's in second place with 6 points. That, of course, obviously the result tonight would mean that we would drop down the table to sixth place in the table. And that means, that we'll have to go into that next game against Liverpool and show, that this game tonight was nothing but a blip, and that is basically all we can do. Obviously it's disappointing because we've lost the game, but at the end of the day, like I've just said, there's so many positives there to take from this game. The fact that, last year it was 2-0, and this time it's only 1-0, so obviously there's progress there. We've moved forward with that, and of course anything else will be rectified going ahead, from Eddie Howe and Mad Dog as well. But let us know your thoughts anyway down in the comments below. Any Man City fans that are watching, let us know your thoughts, of course, down in the comments below about that game tonight down at the Etihad. And of course, safe travels to all the Newcastle fans coming back up from Manchester from that game. Massive support tonight from yous. Once again, as always, fantastic support travelling on the road for our lads, and safe travels to you all on your way back to Newcastle. Until next time, remember, like, share, subscribe, 200% mags, and I'll see you all in the next one. However, lads.